Now this gap over here, right? If I can go on one hourly, shows it nicely. Right now, it's the same as when it comes down to you basically having a untested, maybe fair value gap and untested breaker, etc., etc. Right now, if you are basically going to look at this gap, look at this one. Let me box out that gap. Can you see what price did? We had a closure below the gap, right?
Yeah.
Closure below the gap. What did price do? Price came back into the gap. Price failed to close above the actual gap, right? So we respected it and we had a beautiful shift back towards the downside. Right now, can you see
Yeah.
over here the exact same thing as what happened over there? If you're going to look at PA right over here, right? We found ourselves creating the gap. I can maybe just adjust it nicely. Closed below. Price never came back for the retest back into this gap right over there. Can you see that?
Oh.
So that
Oh.
area right there is basically an untested area which is lining up above this area of, you know what, buy side liquidity we have found ourselves creating over here, right? So that is an actual possibility for us basically seeing price head back into, as well as a point of interest for us to wait for some beautiful, you know what, shorts back towards the downside as well. Right now, obviously within this gap, right, I am taking into consideration that price can come there, price can come here, price can come there, etc., etc. Right now, if we are going to look at PA above price over here, what you can also find yourself doing is the following, right? We can basically see that a high has been taken right over there, right there, right? So this whole area, I'm considering this whole area as like a should have been an actual impulse, right? But unfortunately, we find ourselves having that shift back to the downside, right? So I'm looking at this as the area of quote unquote manipulation that find itself happening, right? And then we can also see that what did price do? We can also see that price also find itself having a closure below this down close candle right over there, right? So if you basically want to find yourself boxing this as your breaker, right, I already do know that, okay, that is an area to where we can pull back into, right? But if I'm gonna just find myself boxing out everything like that, you know, it's gonna look quite messy on my charts, right? But if you just want to find yourself looking on taking price all the way back into the actual breaker, however, you still gonna have to wait for your pattern to open up. Right, you're still gonna have to wait for your pattern to open up, but just simply because the gap is something that is more visible, right? And it is something that I know that, okay, if we can shift back into the gap, we can potentially have some sort of an actual shift back to the downside, right? All right, fam. So you know what? Over the course of this morning, we found ourselves having a beautiful session, right? Basically, just analyzing the charts, right? Analyzing the market, and we found ourselves looking at this beautiful gap, right? As you guys saw, like in the, not in this video, we looked at this beautiful gap, and what we can see price find itself doing is simply, you know what, have an actual tap within the gap as well as within an actual breaker, and we can see that we had a beautiful shift back towards the downside, right? Maybe if I can use the replay tool just like that, right, we can basically see that we did have a beautiful tap within that area right over there, right? So if I can maybe just dress up my charts just a little bit, right, we can see that these lows has been violated right over there. We can also see when we look at these highs, right, these highs has also been violated, right? Now, if you find yourself following me on this journey, that you would know that I'm always finding myself entering price based off an actual fair value gap or from an actual breaker, right? And the rules when it comes down to entering off an actual fair value gap will basically be that, you know what, a low has to be taken out, right? After we took out an actual, or after the low has been taken out, we need some sort of a displacement towards the upside, right? And with us having some displacement, we need to find ourselves leaving an actual fair value gap, right? And with us leaving a fair value gap, it needs to at least line up within an actual discounted area, right? So over here we can basically see that price did find itself taking out those lows right over there. Price did find itself taking out those beautiful highs, which we have found ourselves creating over there as well. And we can see that price did find itself leaving an actual fair value gap over there as well, right? So all you could have just simply found yourself doing is get your fib out from that low to that high, right? And all you ultimately want to see price do is just finding itself moving from an actual premium area back into an actual discounted area, right? That's all which you want to find yourself seeing. Even if I can go on the 4-hourly time frame, right now on the 4-hourly time frame, you will see it much clearer. Check this out. There's the fair value gap which we find ourselves creating, right? And can you see that that fair value gap is lining up within an actual discounted area, right? So that right there was my actual shorts, right? I found myself going short from this beautiful breaker which we have found ourselves creating right over there. So with the rejection, that I then found myself just waiting for some confluence, and we can see that on the lower time frame we actually did find ourselves changing market structure right over there, right? And yeah, you know, all I basically found myself doing was literally just following PA, right? I will leave like a screenshot somewhere over here, right, as well as the withdrawal which I found myself making, just to simply just show you guys that, you know, we actually did take the actual trade, right? But ultimately, you know what I want to find myself just share is that, you know what, we find ourselves tapping within this beautiful you know what, gap we have pointed out. Look at that beautiful rejection. We had a beautiful short back towards the downside, right, back into an actual discounted area. And look at what price found itself doing when reaching that discounted area. We literally had a beautiful rejection towards the upside, right? Now we can basically see that we are bullish in market structure when it comes down to the Nasdaq as well. You know what, if you find yourself watching my Sunday breakdown, I did say that I would want to see price come all the way up back into these highs right over there. You know what, we did find ourselves taking out those highs, but you know what, I found myself participating in some beautiful shorts, right? So the next area I would have my eye out on will basically be these highs if we can find ourselves remaining quite bullish in market structure, right? So tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow I will find myself doing what I need to find myself doing, just simply following market structure as well, right? And other than that, I hope you all had an amazing day of trading as well. You know what, if you find yourself taking away something from this content, you know what, make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, you know what, or leave an actual comment in the comment section as well. You know what, that is it from me, your boy D. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. I'm out.